Hey, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what state has the best real estate market. All right. I'm asked constantly what state is the best real estate market. I'm in multiple states now. I'm in Florida, I'm in Colorado, I'm in Arizona, and I like to stick to just a few states. But is the grass really greener on the other side of the fence? I feel like people always think that there's something better off somewhere else. Why not start in your own backyard? And I often am reminded of Russell Conwell's Acres of Diamonds book. This rich farmer goes to bed one night. He has everything he ever dreamed of. He was already wealthy, and he heard a story about how there was diamonds in another faraway land. And he left this area and he sold his farm and ended up losing everything, searching for these diamonds. Well, this farm that he sold, they actually found diamonds right on the very spot that he was sitting on. So it's a great book. It's a super short read, but I often think about that when people ask me, what state is the best state to buy land in? What state is the best state to buy houses in? What state is the best state to buy real estate in? I ask them, what state are you currently in? What have you done in your own backyard? I always recommend my students start in their own backyard. And when I say own backyard, I mean like a 2-hour radius. That is a huge area. You've got so much opportunity in your own backyard. Why not start where you currently are and see what the numbers look like? See what the key performance indicators look like. What are key performance indicators? Those are KPIs. You probably hear people talk about them, but really, it's super simple. How many letters do you have to send? How much do you have to spend on each letter to get an actual real estate deal? And what do you actually earn on that real estate deal? I'll say it again. How much do you have to spend? How much do you have to send? And what do you earn for that particular deal? So if you find that you have to send, 10,000 letters and spend $5,000 on mail to earn one deal that will earn you roughly $100,000 in net profit, you know that you need to spend $5,000 on letters or 10,000 letters to earn $100,000. And it really depends too, what type of real estate are you in? Are you investing in land? Are you investing in single family homes, multi-family homes, mobile home parks, RV parks, Airbnbs? I mean, the whole entire country is booming right now for real estate. It is totally a seller's market. So if you're looking to buy land, you might notice that you're not able to buy as much land as you were a year ago. So you might be thinking, oh my goodness, I need to move to another state, a greener pasture. Water your own grass where you currently are and you can have a greener pasture. So there's some things to look into it, like, okay, I'm not seeing as many land sellers sell me their land. Yes, because there's a greater demand for land right now. People are trying to move out of the city. They're trying to get further away. They're trying to have more space. So that created what we call a seller's market for land. A couple years ago, it was really a buyer's market for land. Same thing for housing, houses. I'm finding that more people are looking for acreage, houses outside of the city, houses further away from the cities. They're willing to drive further for a bigger parcel of land so they can spread out. Well, what's another phenomenon happening right now is gas prices are now starting to climb. So as people are moving further outside away from the city, it's costing them more to commute in, but a lot of things have changed since 2019. Less people are commuting now. More people are working from home. They don't even have to leave their homes. The traffic's pretty light when you're jumping from Zoom meeting to Zoom meeting. I said this the other day. I was on like 4 Zoom meetings and didn't have to drive anywhere. And I didn't spend a penny in gas. And I actually personally live on 58 acres. So I've had the opportunity now to coach over 125 students. And I will tell you, the one thing I'm seeing that the successful students, the ones that are just kicking it out of the park, the ones that are making money in 30 to 45 days, there's one common thing that I'm seeing amongst them is they are operating in their own backyard. They started out in their own backyard. And then when I say their own backyard, I'm talking about with that 2-hour radius. That is a circle. That's a huge circle. That gives you the confidence to go and meet a seller. Meet a buyer and collect cash. Put your signs out for sale. I'm a big believer in signs. I'm trying to sell a piece of land or a house. I put out 33 bandit signs that say must sell, phone number, and exactly how many acres it is, or if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, must sell, phone number. So that 2-hour radius, being in your own backyard in the state you currently are in, gives you so much confidence and authority, and you can own the market. I love hearing people talk about, hey, I'm a virtual real estate investor. I do virtual wholesaling. I buy land virtually. Yes, that's great, but did you start in your own backyard? I recommend starting in your own backyard because you're probably sitting on absolute gold. And there's people out there leaving clues. Success leaves clues. There's people out there already doing it in your market. And you might not want to be in your market because it's oversaturated. Well, if it's oversaturated and there's too much competition, what does that tell you? It's in high demand. There's something that's working in that area. You might move to another area that there's no competition, no demand, and no one doing any deals. That tells me there's no volume. There's no one moving there. I like to see volume. I like to see deals being done because it helps me in many ways. One, I get to figure out what the land or the house is worth. I get to see that there's interest. I love, love, love a seller's market because that tells me if I get a discount on a house or a piece of land or a multifamily, that means I'm buying it at the right price. I'm getting a discount. But if I needed to turn around and sell it, it'd be so easy to sell it because it's a seller's market. So take these into considerations on how to pick the best state for the real estate market. Think about where you're currently at. All right, so I'd love to hear a little feedback, where you're currently investing in, what state you're currently in, what state that you think has the best real estate market. Go ahead and feel free to drop a comment below. I'd love to see some of your opinions and what you guys are doing. All right, not to pick on any states, but I do want to take it to the further extreme. Maybe you're in an area or a city or a state that there's a lot of people leaving, a lot of people moving out of this. I would say this would be the only time that I would think about moving to an additional market or starting out in another market when you're looking for the best real estate market in a certain state. If you're currently sitting on a state or a city that people are just leaving and getting the heck out of there, that's the only time that I would consider actually looking for a better real estate market in another state. So here's an example. There's a lot of people right now leaving California. So that would be my kind of the rule of thumb. If people are leaving there and I'm actually in California, I would probably, yes, look for a better real estate market in another state. But let me give you something else to chew on there. If people are leaving, people are getting out of there, we might have turned a seller's market now into a buyer's market. What is a buyer's market? A buyer's market is when the buyer has control, when the buyer has the negotiating power. It's all about what the buyers are willing to pay. That's what gives the value, the comparables, like when we do comps and what are things worth. It's really about what is a buyer willing to pay. So if there's a lot of people leaving and not as many people coming in, that might open the door wide open for some absolute massive, massive discounts. And when I say massive, I mean huge discounts. When people are leaving and something's turning from a seller's market to an absolute buyer's market, you got to be such a deep discount because you don't want to pay too much. I talk a lot about my students and the success they're having and the things I'm seeing. I love studying successful people because success leaves clues. So if you're interested in becoming a student, starting your land business, buying land at massive discounts and creating a massive passive income for yourself that serves you and your family and eventually others, I'd be honored to coach you. So head on over to thelandsharks.com to find out more information.